Our purpose was to capture some of the insights and the experiences of some senior leaders in the marketing area on the issue of marketing and the concept of marketing finance. It's important to understand how the marketing function is evolving, how it's intersecting and collaborating with the finance function to create value for the business in a sustainable way. And we've asked each of these marketing leaders to talk about their role, their responsibilities, and their business and brand challenges.
Marketing is not a support function, but it's a business function within the company. And there's a big difference between the two. Support function, you're a cost center. If you're a business function, you have a strategic role in the direction that the company takes.
And we look at marketing as having a very clear job around developing products and messages for our consumers to get the word out and bring them into the stores.
We have a network of hotels that are both managed by Marriott, but mostly franchised by Marriott. And our job is to make sure that customers know about our brands and arrive at the doorstep of our owners' hotels.
I was brought in 5 years ago to help Amway with its growth through innovation transformation, where one of the strategic pillars were becoming more consumer-oriented. So I am really trying to help bring the discipline of consumer packaged goods to our business model of direct selling.
One of the major things I was tasked with is figuring out ways, as we're growing much faster than the developed markets, how do we improve the profitability of that growth so it doesn't dilute our margin going forward?
Accountability for marketing really means understanding what it will deliver to the business, but also how do you make what you do in marketing more profitable overall?
When we launch a new product or we come out with a new advertising campaign or promotion, our franchisees are depending on that to drive sales and to drive profits in their business. So with each campaign that we run, we are analyzing the impact on the top line and the impact on the bottom line.
We have the ability to define when we touch the customer at the top of the funnel, and then how do we drive the customer all the way down to a sales closure, and then eventually to cross-selling any other products or solutions that we have. If you go back 10 years, there's no way you could track that on the B2B side. Now with CRM systems tied into marketing automation systems, the demand waterfall is very clearly defined. So we can take a customer from a prospect and drive them all the way down to a closed sale.
I think that because of my pedigree at Procter and now at Amazon, the term marketing accountability is something that I struggle with. And the reason I say that, it's business accountability. There is no marketing accountability, finance accountability. No, it's business accountability. We're all tasked with running a business, and part of running a business is generating the profits needed to grow further.
Marketing and finance work together to define the parameters that we're going to measure for each campaign. And also, as we execute the campaign and go back and look at whether it succeeded or failed, those groups are working together to make sure that we've got a common language and a common understanding about the performance of that particular program.
We try to make sure when we look at marketing and brand, our finance folks are with us every step of the way. We need to understand the investments we're making, have they had a good payoff, or things that we should be de-investing in and reallocating those resources.
I like my team blurring the positions more. I don't want finance to do this box thing of activities. I don't want my marketer to do a box thing of activities. Both have to be business owners.
It's one thing when you run a promotion there's a cost to do the promotion and there's an amount of revenue that comes and you can say, here's what the ratio was. But when you're just doing overall awareness and brand building and you're using metrics like top of mind awareness or intent to recommend, how do you really make that translate into something a finance person can measure? That's where things get a little more tricky and you have to work closely up front on that. When you're able to demonstrate numerically the vast size of a market, how big it is, how much revenue potential is there, and how much you're capturing or not capturing, it's a lot easier to have a marketing investment conversation to say, by doing X, we hope to achieve Y. You'll get there a lot of times, sometimes you won't. And I think that's the thing that finance has to understand. There's as much science as there is art in the discipline of marketing.
It is an art. I think that doing the right amount of testing to lower the risk is something that Procter's good at, and I think that I like. But I think that as marketers, we have to kind of hone the skill of the qualitative and your gut with the data and knowing what's right. But there's always going to be a difficulty in reading certain types of activities like TV and radio. Striking the proper balance between product performance, right, and the emotional connection is building on that midterm or short-term and long-term equity. Being very aggressive and value-oriented and all that usually isn't the best builder of long-term equity.
I think for any marketer, you have to have incredibly strong financial skills to be successful, because you need to know the impact of what you're doing. It may be the mix of your products. It might be how you're investing your money. But if you don't understand the financial side of it, you're not a good marketer.
Marketing will be clearly focused on creating value for the customer. Finance would be focused on making sure the company is efficient and effective and profitable in both the short term and the long term. By bringing these two functions together, we make sure that there's going to be a reliable, robust revenue stream into the future in a way that allows the company to grow and meet its needs.
There are two mental models for the value of marketing in most companies. One is the sales-based culture, where the role of marketing is to increase the number of prospects into the funnel, speed through the funnel, minimize the loss during the sales process, maximize the repurchase rate. And other cultures where the value of marketing is much more seen in terms of creating some form of an economic asset in terms of a reservoir of goodwill, of customer preference that we earn now and forms the basis for customer transactions in the future. This has profound implications for the kind of metrics that marketers should seek to measure. In a brand equity kind of culture, yes, we want to know things like relevant differentiation score, net promoter score, levels of engagement, levels of likes, and so on. In a sales-based culture, they're not so interested in those kind of metrics. They want to know number of leads, number of qualified leads, average duration from initial contact to contract, and knowing which kind of metrics speak most forcibly to the culture in which you operate is an important skill for marketers to learn.